this video to be odd, y'all. Here we have Diddy and the first gay President Barack Obama interview in 2004. But we're going to get to the T why I think P. Diddy was really arrested. Let's go.
A candidate from the state of Illinois.
And you becoming a black Democratic senator, this is a big deal. This is a big deal.
Well, absolutely. You know, we've got 100 U.S. senators from across the country, and right now not one is African American. So part of what we hope to do is to break that barrier, make sure that African Americans, Latinos, more women are included in the process, because the U.S. Senate makes decisions about a lot of stuff, war and peace, what we do with our tax dollars, etc.
And the reason why I'm bringing up that's a big deal, because it's proof that the voting process can work if minorities and young people get involved. The disenfranchised that don't usually vote can make changes and can change the face of politics. Do you agree?
Absolutely. Listen, you're a motivating force for young people all across the country. Your music moves people. You're a trendsetter. But part of what we want to do is to make sure that we're setting a trend in terms of political participation. You know, music, fashion, all that's important. But people have to also understand that, you know, when our young men and women go to war, somebody's make that decision, and it's typically going to be young people. You know, whether you work at Mickey D's or you're producing records, your tax dollars are going somewhere. And young people have to be involved in that decision-making process so that their interests are looked after.
Now for some questions that the people want to know. You have disenfranchised young voters that feel like their vote doesn't mean anything. Why should I vote? I'm not going to vote. They don't care about me. They don't talk my language. They don't listen to me. Can you tell them why it's important for them to vote this year?
Well, this is going to be a critical year. I mean, we've still got wars going on overseas. Young people are the people who get sent to war. It's not old people that get sent to war. You've got a situation right now where a lot of our young people can't afford to go to college because they don't have money. Well, that money is being spent on things that aren't as useful to our society, but would help, young brothers and sisters all across the country.
Well, who's funding the war now? Is the Democrats funding the war now? Barack Obama? Killing innocent lives? And they getting ready for a World War III? And you talk this shit in 2004, and your running mates are in charge now? What's the problem, Barack? Who's really running the show behind the scenes? This is all cat. All cat.
The country. And so the decision-making process is one that young people have to be involved in. And part of it is also that it's a way of asserting your power. You don't want to give away your power any more than you want to give away your money. You know, you wouldn't give away your money to anybody that just walked down the street, but when you give away your vote, you're giving away a little bit of power that you have to influence the things that you see around you.
One of the biggest things I get is that young people, they feel like things aren't getting better. All this talk, all these speeches, all these conventions, all these parties, it all sounds good, but it's not affecting me. It's not going to affect my life. Minorities living in the inner cities, Watts, south side of Chicago, Detroit, New York, Brooklyn, Queens, Miami, Opelika, the hoods all around the world feel like things aren't changed for them. Puff, you keep on telling me you blue in the face, Puff, you blinging. You living in the Hamptons, we don't want to hear that, and this and that. I feel you. So what can you say to those disenfranchised young brothers and sisters that really need the help, that need a change, and that are hitting me with this, and I'm here to try to get some answers for them?
Well, listen, things aren't going to change overnight, and folks are still going to have to be responsible for themselves. So it's going to be important for our young brothers and our young sisters to get an education where they can, to focus and discipline on their dreams and how they move them forward. Nobody's going to solve everybody's problems, and so people still got to have some initiative, but it makes a difference once you've decided that you're going to take responsibility for having these big dreams, that somebody's there to give you a helping hand. And it makes a difference if government's giving you a little bit of help or not a lot of help. We got a lot of ex-offenders in Chicago, on the south side of Chicago, brothers who are coming out of prison. They need job training. They want a better life for themselves. But if they can't get a skill or they can't get their GED because there's no money because that money got used in Iraq, then they're going to give up. There are a lot of brothers who got a subsidy.
The same way they use FEMA money for those illegal migrants. You're right. Continue, house nigga.
substance abuse problem. They want to clean up. But if they can't get into a treatment program because the money's been wasted, then they're not going to be able to focus. So you've got to take your own initiative, just like you did and just like I did. But government can be a little bit of help, and your vote will determine whether the people in power reflect what you care about or whether it reflects what the fat cats care about. And that's what voting's all about.
I want to say to you right now, while you're in front of me, sir, that right there makes sense. You know, I've been hearing a lot of bull today. I have been disenfranchised all day because I'm asking questions. They not answering my questions. This is how young people feel. When you want to be the president of the United States.
And that's how we feel about Kamala Harris, not answering questions.
You call your man, call MTV. We're going to give you a platform. We're going to give you a way to speak because you on to something, kid. Well, you on to something. You making sense to me. You got me. I am franchised. We're going to keep it nonpartisan, but we got to applaud when somebody's making sense. Because we've been all around, all over, speaking to politicians, and this is what we call real talk. This is what now y'all understand why we vote. We're going to edit everybody else ass out and just run his. Yeah,
I appreciate y'all. Thank you. And I just want to say how much I appreciate Puff Dad for doing the kinds of work that he's doing, because he doesn't have to do this. But this is part of what is important about giving back.
Say what?
Just run his. Yeah,
I appreciate y'all. Thank you. And I just want to say how much I appreciate Puff Dad for doing the kinds of work that he's.
He really appreciate Puff Dad for doing the work that he's doing. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't make this shit up. This is directly from the first gay president, Barack Obama, who did nothing for the African American community. And he was voted in for 8 years. 8 years, goddammit. And we in a worse predicament than we ever been in. Continue.
He's doing, because he doesn't have to do this. But this is part of what is important about giving back. And all of us have something to make a contribution. There are a lot of brothers and sisters out there who are doing well, but aren't thinking about the folks left behind. And if you can't reach back and pull some folks up with you, then you shouldn't be in the position that you're in right now.
What a hypocrite. Crow feet. Eat your own words, because you pulled no one up by their bootstraps, and you was the president for 8 years, goddammit. 8 goddamn years.
One last thing. It's neck and neck right now between Kerry and Bush. The polls is neck and neck. The youth vote, minority vote has a lot of power. Can you express to them the power of that vote and what it means with only like 12 weeks to go? Is it like, how many weeks? 9, 8, 9. Okay, it's around 12. Around 12. Yeah, okay.
Don't listen to these.
Yeah. That's right. That's why I like you. Around 12 weeks to go. 12 weeks to go. Make them understand the power they vote. What it means right now for it to be neck and neck, and the power they have in their vote right now.
Well, some people just got to remember what happened in Florida. You know, George Bush won the presidency.
We most definitely know what's happening in Florida. We most definitely know what's happening in Florida right now. There's no funds for FEMA because all the funds was used up to these illegal migrants. Continue, house nigga.
He thinks, based on just a tiny margin of votes. If a few thousand people more vote in Florida, you've got an entirely different direction of the country. We probably don't go into a war in Iraq. We're probably spending more money on schools, more money on job training, more money on programs for ex-offenders. All that stuff makes a difference. You folks can make a difference right now. And like I said, don't let people overpromise what you can do through politics. It's not going to solve the problems of the entire world, but it makes a little bit of difference, and it doesn't take that much effort. You get registered, you vote, that takes about 15 minutes. And if you can't spend 15 minutes on deciding what your community is going to look like and what your country is going to look like, then you don't have any cause to complain.
He making sense. That's what we need. We need people to make sense. We applaud you, and I want to apologize for not sweating, but I do this so much. I'm so cool. I just want y'all to see everybody I'm interviewing is sweating. I'm not even touching my brow. I'm so cool, and I want to apologize. I ain't trying to make you look bad or nothing like that, but I'm just so cool. We
a t-shirt. I tell you, if he was wearing one of those fancy designer clothes he's designing, he'd be sweating just like me.
The guy's good.
15 minutes later.
Now, and I believe this is the real reason they came after P. Diddy. I'm not capping for him or what he did that they got on tape and videos. I'm not knocking that. But I believe this interview here was the real reason they had to lock P. Diddy down and silence him. Let's go.
I'm launching one of the boldest movements that I've ever launched. And it's called Our Black Party.
Okay.
It's time for us to have our own black political party, unapologetically. Because right now, if you look at the debates, we're not even a part of the conversation.
Not at all.
We're not a part of the conversation. We don't have any political power. We don't have any political leverage. And so we started Our Black Party with some young, fearless black activists, elected officials, and I've stepped up and put the money behind it. Mm-hmm. This is the biggest threat and the only option that we have right now as far as making a change, taking our own self-responsibility and accountability to be educated and empowered with our vote.
Hold up, now listen, before I do play the rest of the video, I want y'all to listen very, very, very carefully, because word on the street is this is one of the few videos that shows why Diddy is really going in prison. Because listen, I told y'all before, this is not because of Cassie Ventura case, this is not because of the freak off, this is much, much bigger, and this video explains it a lot. So I want you guys to listen very carefully, and I want you guys to let me know your perspective afterwards. But remember to drop a like, and remember to subscribe, as it helps out a lot, and just show some love, man. But enough of me talking, y'all check out the rest of the video.
So what's the goal for our Black Party?
Our Black Party's number one goal is to unify behind a black agenda. Mm-hmm. That's it. Mm-hmm. You could be a part of the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, you could be an independent, but if you black, you wasn't born Republican, you wasn't born Democrat, you wasn't born independent, you was born black. Mm-hmm. And we have to seize our political power, because it'll just be more the same. Being pushed this way, being pushed that way, and we expecting
a different result.
Mm-hmm. But the definition of insanity is like doing the same thing over and over the same way, expecting a different result, and it's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. So we have to change the tone. We got to start with us stepping up and really taking the responsibility and accountability to be a part of this political movement.
The hardest part of that is going to be getting other black people to buy into it.
This is not for all black people. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? This is not for the scary ones. Mm-hmm. This is for the ones that want to move things forward and want to get to the smoke. A black person spends an average of like 5 hours on Instagram a day. Mm-hmm. If you could give Instagram that time, mm-hmm. 15 minutes you could give to educating yourself. Mm-hmm. And our Black Party's that platform. So when we get down to the local elections, when we get down to the school board, we get down to the judges and the justices, that's so confusing for us. Mm-hmm. We've never played this game. This is another level of gangster. Mm-hmm. But I played this game before, you know? I started in 2004 with Vote or Die, and this is the evolution of that thought, of that empowerment, of that independence, of us taking self-accountability so we're not caught with our pants down like this election. Right now, we're not going to get nothing. We caught with our pants down. We're not organized. We're not ready to really take this on. I went through the experience of politics. I played the game with the Democratic Party. The people that I went and campaigned for, after they got elected, I don't feel like they really did anything to change the reality of black people. Like I was blessed enough to find God come to me and tell me my purpose. And he told me my purpose is to play a part in saving the black race. The Vote or Die Diddy was about politics and, you know, trying to be supportive. And also, you know, they kind of guilt us in the votings, you know. But as I evolved, I realized this is a business. This is a transaction. Mm-hmm. This is the closest thing to the streets than the streets that I've seen.
I'm